Well, the question I want to ask Freeberg is, do you actually think that these new options of work from home and remote work have actually made the economy more productive? It seems to me that obviously employees, if you give them the freedom over the decision of their trade-off between work and leisure, and let them decide how much they're going to work.
It's made the economy more expensive.
How so?
If you take a big step back to the day before the lockdowns started, we had a normal functioning economy that was growing by, call it, 2% a year. And the minute that we enforced these lockdowns, I actually think what we did was we started a supply side recession. It's what Sachs said earlier. So what does that mean? Let's just say you're a factory and you make wheels. Okay, just make something really simple. You were growing at 2% a year. Everything seemed hunky-dory. You had employees. It was fine. You used to sell your products, make 10, 15% profits. Everything was fine. And then the day after, the government said, you need to shut your factory down because we can't have people spending too much time close together because we need to get a handle on this pandemic. Okay, so you shut it down. And then for the next 12 or 18 months, what happens? That stuff sits idle. These people that used to work for you get $2.5 trillion put into their bank accounts. They spend their time doing other things. And then all of a sudden people say, okay, it's time to start the factory up again. People want to buy wheels. And now all of a sudden you find that because everything all around the world was shut down, there's no rubber to make the wheels. There's no steel to make the axle. There's no people to put them all together. And so what happens? Well, prices go up because, again, you gave everybody else $2.5 trillion. So they're like, well, I used to pay $1 for your wheel. I'm willing to pay you $2 now. Just make the wheel. Give it to me before you give it to somebody else. So that is like the classic definition of a supply side recession.
There's another piece to that too, Chamath.
And sorry, just to finish the point. And the Fed basically confirmed this in the minutes that they just released today. Jason, can you just read the quote that you had in the notes?
Well, the one up top, a significant risk that elevated inflation should become entrenched if the public begins to question their resolve.
I think the point is that, we were kind of in a supply side recession, and now by raising rates to some crazy amount, the end of which we're still not sure about, may actually then trigger the demand destruction to have a demand side recession. And so I don't know that we've lived in a modern point in time where both things have been true. Right? There's been a principle of macroeconomics that everybody's always kind of debating, is this a supply side issue? Is it a demand side issue? We know that in COVID, it was a supply side issue. We took all the supply out of the market. And now we're trying to figure out when we exhaust, all of the money we've given people and we destroy demand and take the incentives for demand to go away, right? Consumer confidence is now starting to turn. What happens then? Well, we're going to figure that out in the next 6 or 9 months. But the thing is, you have both that are true. It's not as if the supply side of the economy has been fixed. It's not as if everybody is running at 100% capacity. It's not as if all the supply chain issues have been worked out.
Yep.
So I don't know. I just think it's a very complicated situation.